I'm Jose.
I'm Leeann Lux.
And we are Two Most Wanted.
Hey, Boo.
Hi.
We're back.
We are back with your deck.
We're back from afar. I'm wearing my kimono because I'm obsessed with it, and I just came back from Japan.
And I'm wearing my denim because I came back from Texas.
As one does.
As one does. You wear although I did recently go to Texas to go visit family. Was there for like a little more over a weekend.
Yeah.
And I'm obsessed. I mean, for a while now, I've been obsessed with my fry boots.
Okay.
And for those who don't know what fry boots are, they're like really handcrafted boots that are made to last. And they're really expensive. And I've had them for over 15 years. And they look brand new. Anywho, I love wearing them. And I'm in this, as the children say, my little cowboy boot era. And I wear them with my jeans.
Cowboy Carter era.
Right. And there's something about the sound of what boots, Chelsea boots, heels, something about the sound that it makes that just feels so empowering to me.
Okay.
I love
like those boots are meant for walking.
And they're walking.
You feel it. The song plays in your head when you're walking in 100%.
Okay. I have this air of confidence that just circulates in my body when I wear something that just makes a very like powerful sound as I walk. It's almost like I am here kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so that does that. And I thought, oh, wow, I'm in the right place for that, like Texas. Because, you know, a lot of guys, I notice it when I go to the airport or the airports in Texas. And a lot of people have cowboy boots on or some kind of boot on. And it's
a vibe. You're
in
it.
Vibe.
Feels
and
good.
You're wearing a kimono.
I'm wearing a kimono that was given to us, and we got to like be classy ladies for a day. I learned,
and it's really beautiful. Like I'm looking at it now. So those who are not watching this,
colors.
I mean, please do. But it is like this. There's like a lot of tapestry going on here. There's like a fan. There are little origami birds.
Yes.
Oh, how appropriate! That
right?
The little origami birds. Considering we're kind of full circle in this season finale.
I know. It's our season finale, y'all.
It's a lot. So you're encompassing a lot of the.
A lot of our little inside jokes and whatnot. And this one was a last minute choice. They laid out several kimonos to choose from. And in my true laid back nature, I wasn't like grabbing first. You know what I mean? I'm like, let the girls get what they want to get. Right. And then I was like, I like the darker colors. And I went for a darker one that had very basic pattern, like just some lines. And it was like, okay, but there was nothing about it that even really said Japanese other than it was a kimono.
Right.
And then I saw this one and it was the inside color that did it for me. So this has orange. This has orange lining, and the bottom has orange.
It's like an autumn orange.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which to me...
I grabbed this one. I was like, oh, I love this.
Which is so funny because... And this... Orange has always... Like, to me, has always been your color.
What?
I don't know what it is about orange.
That's so random. But I love that, but that's so random.
I don't know why. I don't know where it stems from, but I feel like you wear a lot of orange.
And I think I wear a lot of earth tones.
Oh, for sure.
Some of them could be like there's definitely like a burnt brown orange vibe and an olive color that I have that repeats in my, especially my fall clothes. I definitely do that. I think I have both a pink undertone from my father's side and an olive undertone from my mother's side that I think both get like a complementary color scheme with the earth tones.
Yeah, comment down below. I feel like
tones,
it's your color, orange.
I don't know. Let me know what
Definitely
color is.
warm
I can wear it more.
But yeah, it's really beautiful. There's like a phoenix there, and there's little leaves. So I'm assuming it's kind of fall oriented.
I want to wear this every day. I want to wear a kimono every day. I don't know if that's like culturally appropriating, but they gave it to me. The Japanese gave this to me. Therefore, I should be allowed to wear it every day.
No, it's totally fine. I don't even think it falls in cultural appropriation.
It shouldn't. They gave it to you.
Yeah.
Then they're like, you're approved.
Yeah. I wonder what would fall. I mean, that goes into a whole other topic of like cultural appropriation, but
which was always like in the back of my mind doing, I was in Japan doing photo shoots, working with Hachi Media on their Photo Ventures, which is like such an incredible company, and the trips that they cultivate for models, photographers are out of this world. And I was so flattered and honored to be a part of this. And just like the clothing, Tokyo in general, the fashion, holy shit! Like being a New Yorker and thinking like we are one of the fashion capitals, like they make us look mid. Okay.
Well, because I always felt
Honestly.
like they always live outside of the box.
Way outside.
Way.
Anything goes from head to toe. That's the detailing. And people are like, in New York, you're like, oh, maybe that person's going to an event or a photo. These people are in the supermarket casually.
It's a life. It's a whole lifestyle.
Dripping in fashion excellence from hair to toe. And I'm like, they're committed. And I'm like, oh, I need to step up my whole life, essentially. My whole life. Because yoga pants and, slides and a hoodie.
Are just not cutting it?
It's not cutting it for my day-to-day anymore.
No.
Not that I don't dress it up when we go out, but definitely not to this extent. And now I'm like, oh, okay, I have work to do. I've
always loved that about that culture.
Yeah.
It's just like they when they commit to something, they fully commit to it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like, I love that. I think that's where my fascination with it, because growing up, my mom had that same mentality. Like the minute you walk out of this house, you are putting your best foot forward to a point where I'm like, I don't know what casual is anymore.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to Whole Foods dressed like this. Like, where are you going? A dinner? And I'm like, Whole Foods?
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely encompass that. You have that same as like their culture. My mom was like that. My mom was she's only found comfort in her later senior years, but up until her mid 60s, she was still like dressed to the nines just to go out and about. And I like never understood it because I always prioritize comfort. But now I'm like, no, it changes your mood. It changes your mood, your attitude. If you're having a shitty day, you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, doll yourself up and see if you don't feel like $1 million fucking dollars when you walk out of the door.
Going back to like the boot thing or the sound of like that powerful confidence. Like I get now when, not all women, but the women that I've come across who say they love wearing heels for that same reason. I'm like, oh yeah, I get it.
Oh yeah.
Changes your mood 100%.
I love a pair of comfy boots that are also heeled. Like they're not, I'm not describing them well. I mean, I love my Timbs. That's not what I'm talking about.
She's going to be buried in her Timbs.
I'm going to be buried in my Timbs. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like a comfy heel boot. Like it has
like a wedge?
A 3-inch heel, but like a square heel that you could really run in.
Yeah.
I like those because you can truly, literally run around Manhattan in those and still look fabulous. I feel like one of those. I feel like Catwoman when I wear shit like that, where I'm like, I have the height, it's giving the legs, it's accenting the ass, I look cute, but I can literally run and catch that train, so don't fuck with me.
Yeah.
Like, I can run after you if you snatch my bag, don't fuck with me. Those are the boots that I feel powerful in.
So they're don't fuck with me boots.
They are don't fuck with me boots.
I
look cute, but I will chase you down this block.
Yeah.
Boots.
Yep.
That's my style.
Yep. It's my favorite. Yeah. The clothes definitely enhance.
But Tokyo,
what could
man.
be shitty. I mean,
doing it.
Well,
You're
it's funny how like this was your first, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
It's your first country that you visited where it's a completely different, not just language, but like culture altogether, right?
I mean, I would say Portugal, but most people that I encountered in Portugal spoke a decent amount of English.
Yeah.
You know? In Japan, though, I was like, oh, I am so far out of my comfort zone. And the 5 words I know are not going to be enough to survive. We were a part of these like networking events, and which was incredible to meet these people. And, but I'm a wordy girl. Like I'm one of those like speak when spoken to type people. I might be the quiet one in the room, but if you talk to me, I have a lot to say. And so I'm trying to network with so limited
vocabulary.
Yes. And like, it like having to rely on just made up sign language and energy was a challenge in itself. And then having some of these people who like gave us the kimonos, created streetwear fashion with our measurements, had a nail person, had a calligraphy person.
Oh, yeah, you had like a nail tech.
Yeah, we had a calligraphy person that put our names on our bodies. We had, I mean, the works. Yeah. And wanting to express so much gratitude and network with them and create future projects with them and do and say so much and be limited to arigato gozaimasu. Like, thank you very much. Like, I wanted to say so much more than that. Yeah. And that's all I could say. And like, but I had to just say it and give my energy to it. Yeah. And they received it so well. And they probably wanted to say so much.
Oh, I'm sure.
Too. And they couldn't. Like, no. And it was still so sweet and so genuine. So the experience of that, like, I wouldn't change that. The next time I go, I would love to just be fluent. But it's hard. It's not an easy language, you know.
It's kind of like Spanish. It's very
Japanese. Like, no, I know. Phonetic. I can understand like all of Spanish very easily.
Oh well, no, that's different.
It's not like Spanish at all.
I meant like pronunciation. Like, it's a very phonetic language. So
yeah,
I feel like it's easier to pick up in a way.
Yes, but you know, you go to Japan and you're like, oh, but maybe like I'll see some signs. And then you're looking at hieroglyphics and you're like, I don't know what the store has and or what this menu says.
And you went to several cities in Japan.
Yeah,
like I've only been to Kyoto, which is the old capital. So before I went, everyone told, well, not everyone, but my research told me that it's very instilled in the culture. So they're not many people going to speak English, not many signage. So I kind of knew what I was signing up for. But you went to multiple cities. Yeah,
it was Tokyo, Akita, Mount Fuji, Osaka, Kyoto.
So all of the
and it was just spots. Like.
It
was just a flip of the coin when you went in someplace if someone knew some words in English.
Was it,
or if there was an English menu?
Was it more tricky in a certain part of the country, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I would say I don't think I found anyone that spoke English in Akita, or maybe a little bit in Mount Fuji. I would say like Tokyo, flip the coin.
Yeah.
You know, we found a sushi place with a chef that we sat in front of that made all of our sushi. So incredible. She was fluent in English because she went to college in the States.
Oh, nice.
And we were like, we had so much conversation with her. It was like we had so much to say to someone. And she was down to hear it all. And I was like, oh, what a treat, you know?
Yeah.
But
what runs through your head when you're kind of, like, I remember when I first went to first place I went to was Korea.
Okay.
And I remember my first initial thought and emotion was, I'm halfway across the world. Like, it's not like I can take the subway back home.
Girl, that 14-hour flight.
But just not even the flight itself, but like landing in the city where I'm like, oh, for me to go home, it's going to be near impossible, if not for a plane, right?
Yeah.
And then everything else kind of settles in. Like, the settling in part took like maybe a couple hours.
Sure.
Did you have anything similar to that?
I have pre-travel anxiety.
What's
Once
that?
I'm like before, like the packing process, the days leading up to, I get into like a panic mode, and then once I'm out the door, my brain goes into travel mode, and I'm just good. Okay. And then, but of course, getting there, you're just like, nothing is in English, and this is crazy.
Yeah.
And you're just like, it becomes really real, and you're just like at the mercy of your Google Translate and hope and a prayer.
Were you always with a group, or you never by yourself?
I was always with a group. Actually, interesting story. Opening night of the event, we go to this bar and they had a whole performance for us. It was amazing. We loved this bar Propaganda, it was called.
They performed for you?
They had this like Drew and Anand, the ones that run the event, organized like a performance, this drum performance. Oh. These guys were a whole like traditional Japanese situation that was fucking beautiful and such a cool experience. Perfect way to open the event. And a whole networking thing. We got to meet like the designers that we'd be working with, and just really cool people. And it was it wasn't like at each like shoot was kind of rushed and intense and a challenge, but at the events you got to like chill, kick back, have a drink if you want, a mocktail, some appetizers, and actually like
Get to
know people as best as you can with your limited vocabulary and sign language and vibes. You know what I mean? And that's what it was, and it was fine. But I'm looking around the room, and I'm like, this is an attractive crowd. You know me. One thing about me, I'm going to notice if there's sexy people in the room. I already shot my shot with the bartender. She was beautiful. I was like, "Hi, you're beautiful," because that's what I say.
Was she American or spoke English?
I think she was French and spoke English. Beautiful. She looked like she was Spanish, had a French accent, cute curly hair, so adorable.
Oh my gosh, me?
I was like, oh my God. Me and my friend Belle were just like, oh my God, she's so cute. And I was like, of course she is. I was like, can I get a ginger ale? And also you're beautiful. And she was like, oh my God, thanks, you too. I was like, oh my God, stop. So, but I got like straight vibe. So took my ginger ale and my happy ass over to my friends chit-chatting. And I see a very handsome man slinking through the bar. And I was like, oh, who dat? And he's not Japanese. I'm just like, where's he from? Is he one of the crew? Is he someone we're supposed to network with? Is he, And I go back over to my girlfriends who are there, and they're fetish models, but they're also models, and they're part of the event as well.
Yeah.
And they're like, and I was like, oh, like there's some good looking people here. And they go, oh, who? And I said, that guy at the end of the bar that, again, if you've listened to previous podcasts, I just stare at people until they acknowledge that I exist.
Until they submit.
That's my flirtation tactic.
Yeah.
I did take it a step further by, I did have to pee. So I went to the bathroom and like brushed past him because it was a very narrow space. And when I came back, his back was to me and I literally couldn't get through unless he moved, and it was a loud bar. So I
put him in my
hand, I wanted to. So I put my hand on his back and said, excuse me. And I was just like, oh, he's so cute. He smells so good, but like I haven't dated boys in years now, but I was like, I don't know. There's just something about him that's attractive. There's some kind of energy
it's a je ne sais quoi.
It's a je ne sais quoi. There's some energy. There's a balance. I could sense a balance of feminine and masculine. And that's what I love in people. And I was like, I don't know. I just want to know what that's about. Right. I go back to my friends and I was like, this person's good looking. They're like, who? I point him out and they're like, oh, that's so-and-so. And I'm like, what? Why do we know him? They're like, that's one of our colleagues in America, brother. And I'm like, stop right now. And then my friends like look at him again and imagine her hair. And I was like, oh my God. Cause she happens to be beautiful. And this is
what
her
are those?
Beautiful brother. And I was like, what? Why is he here? They're like, he lives in Japan. I'm like, oh my God, stop. And so he comes over to them and our friend Calissa, she's a wonderful wingman. And she was like, have you met Lee? And I was like, here I am. So we end up chatting and he's like, at the end of the night, he's like, how long are you in town? Do you have free time? I know you're here for an event. I was like, I have very limited free time, but we talk about it. He's like, if you want to hang out, like, let's do that. So I hit him up with a schedule. A few days later, when we're back in Tokyo, we hang out, and it was so cool to go out and feel like not a tourist because he lives there and he like knows some cool places to go. Yeah. And, we just hopped on the train and went here and there. And it was like, I felt what it would be like if I had a life there. It was like a 2 to 3 hour excursion of what it would be like to have a life in Japan,
Yeah.
And I was like,
and what did you think?
I was dressed cute. It's funny because I street styled the kimono because it was after the kimono shoot. Mm-hmm. So I had on like these cute baggy jeans. I used the kimono thing as like a rap accent sort of thing, and these sneakers and my hair up and whatever. And so I just felt very fashionable out with this very handsome local, so to speak. And I was like, oh, I could do this. I like this. It felt like being in a very clean, very safe Manhattan.
Don't even get me started on the differences.
Very clean, very safe Manhattan. It is Manhattan in a parallel universe. Because it's crowded and busy. But like if Manhattan was clean and safe, you would see how beautiful the streets are and the architecture is and
100%.
the tech. And it's all that.
Yeah.
But just you get to enjoy it because you're not looking over your shoulder preparing to be mugged.
Or murdered.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like, oh my God.
Or get hit by a fucking e-bike.
Right. Well, they do ride bikes on the sidewalk there, which blows my mind.
But there's a culture to it. It's insane.
Yeah.
Like they ride their bikes like normal people. Like you would.
Slow.
Yes.
You have to, because I don't understand. Like it blew my mind that they were on the sidewalk. I was like, what is happening?
They're not allowed to go on the street unless you're. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
It's very different.
There's an OCD about it that I love.
Yeah. But like being in Tokyo makes you look at the United States as a third world country.
Oh, girl.
Yeah.
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 The amount of times that, like the closest to New York, so when I've been to Japan, it's only been to Kyoto, and Kyoto is kind of like Brooklyn. Even though it is a city, but nowhere near.
I was only there for like the day, but it was super cute.
Yeah. But when I've been to Seoul, South Korea several times. And to me, that is the closest to New York that I've ever experienced. So much so that it felt like it was another borough. Like at some point, I almost forgot.
Okay, I have to go there then.
But what's even crazier is that to me, and I haven't traveled a lot. Like have I been to Europe? I feel like I have. Oh wait, yeah, I have.
Yeah, you went to Paris
several times. Wow, I'm not allowed to leave this couch ever again. But but Seoul was my first kind of big international trip.
Yeah,
and when I first got there, granted, it's a little easier because I read, write, and speak the language. But what was took me back kind of to what you're saying. They are the city that doesn't sleep as far as that I've experienced, where like people are going out to eat at 10 o'clock. People are out. Like the city is bustling. And these aren't tourists, by the way. These are local people.
These are locals, yeah.
And I thought, what a shame to be from New York City to be at another place that is putting us to shame.
Yeah.
Because when I get out of work at 12 midnight and I want ramen, I can't find, everything's closed. And all I have is a deli.
And it's like COVID affected us so bad.
That put the nail in the coffin.
There was so many cool 24-hour spots to go to, and then COVID happened, and it's just gone.
Oh.
And people were tourists asked why that happened. And I'm like, I believe it's because they realized that there was essentially no crime once they started closing at normal hours. And it's like, oh, because we can't handle after hours because we're animals. And so now that they close at a reasonable hour, they don't have to deal with drunks and assholes. So I don't blame them. You know what I mean?
But then for people
sucks.
Well, you no longer take part in this, but I still have like a nightlife job per se.
Yeah.
And like a bitch is tired and wants to eat. And now all I have is a shitty chopped cheese that I'm getting overcharged at the bodega.
Right. That's not what you want at 1 a.m. Yeah.
So it's crazy to go to those countries. And like you said, like, I think we can talk shit about our country because we live here and we're from here.
Yeah.
But you start to see the gaps in the seams of the tapestry of what is this country.
It looks like a joke from another country.
It's a whole ass SNL Mad TV skit.
It is. And the news in other countries reflects that. We caught some news when we were in, I want to say Akita. We caught some news at a little lunch spot, and we couldn't understand what they were saying, but they essentially posted up a photo of I won't even say him, our unfortunate president, and some other people, and they treated it like a game show, and we deduced with our Google Translate that they were like, what's this idiot gonna say next? You know, and this was like their news channel, and it was just like a 2-minute, you know how we use random stories to like alleviate the stress of, we're like, oh, and these puppies were born in a taxi, you know, like they were like, what's going on in this dumbass country? Let's take a look. And then they're all like, anyway, back to our thriving economy. Like it was just, it blew my mind. And I was like, really just look at us as, you know, a South Park episode.
Truly, like it's so meta at this point.
I don't blame them. Right.
It's wild, but it's funny that I've made those observations because when I went, my first time in overseas or in Korea was, I think maybe 10 years ago.
Oh, wow.
So this is, I forgot, I think Obama was president. I have no sense of time, but it wasn't certainly the president that we have now. And even then I realized, like, for example, the subways over there was just like, they run on time.
On time as fuck.
Yeah, and granted, they're not 24 hours. I don't know how it is in Japan, but in Seoul, they stop like at midnight. So wherever you are on the train system, when it strikes 12, goodbye.
I don't know if Tokyo ever stops.
But I'm not mad at that. Like,
right.
I started to implement those kind of things.
Super organized, super clean. Yes. We sat in a train car and we noticed this like a sign that's in pink and has some kind of, they have, after a certain hour, it's a women only car. What? I'm sorry, what?
City of the future. That's all I'm saying.
Blows my... I would like a women only everything, but I will start with a train car. Oh my God.
It's crazy. It's
wow.
crazy. And I'm sure...
And to be honest, I don't even think they need it. Everyone is so safe there. It's ridiculous. It was so ridiculous. We were wearing outrageous shit. Not once were we catcalled. Guys didn't even stare. It was just another day. Like they... Mm-hmm. We got zero negative attention. Zero.
And granted, we're highlighting the best parts that I'm sure every city has its negative things.
I'm sure they have crime, but it's like you can stand in New York City at a corner for 5 minutes and witness a crime. A small crime, to say the least, but you'll witness a crime. Someone's going to litter, at least. Like you're going to witness something.
Do something.
But like... And no, I mean, shit, I was there almost 3 weeks. It was all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is the most well-behaved people I've ever seen in my life.
So now do you understand when I fly back to New York and I go, ugh.
I know.
Do you get it?
People get, I heard about post-Japan depression, and I have various opinions on that we can get into another time. But I was ready to come home because I love my home life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love my apartment, my cat, my career. I love my home life. So I was ready to come back. But I was like, yeah, no, comparing this country to that is awful. Like,
it's apples
surreal.
to crayons.
Right. Right. It's surreal. Don't get me wrong. It's like, I love to come back to my life, but I understand why people don't.
I mean,
I understand why people do not love that.
I mean, you and I, we had this conversation every time. I feel like you talk me off the ledge every time I come back to this country, much less city.
Yes.
And I mean, I love my apartment. I do love my life. It is very blessed, song and dance.
Right.
But when you go to France and you have a tomato for the first time, you're like, this is what it's supposed to taste like?
You're like, oh my God. Sans pesticides?
What?
Wow. Thank you. I didn't know that's how I should order it in America.
I could have a banana in this country? What? Like, it's those small little things that it affects. Not affects, but it makes me reflect.
Oh, absolutely.
On my everyday life. And I'm like, fuck. Yeah. If we only had that, how great. Right. How happier. Not even great. It's not about who's greater than who. It's like how much happier we would be as a society if these things worked. And I get that there are a lot of intricacies. You know, we're a very large country. We have a lot of different cultures. I get it.
Sure.
But it's all about the small things. We don't have to change things on large scales. If we can just change these small little things like, I don't know, fresh fruit. That doesn't have to travel too far.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that. That would make a lot of people better, happier.
Speaking of being happier in that country, I was talking about it with some of the photographers on the way home, how we found that we were able to be our gentlest selves, our softest selves.
Isn't that nice?
It took a little bit, like you have to go for more than a week, because it took almost a week for me to stop looking over my shoulder and stop clutching my purse all the time and stop needing to, overanalyze everyone on the train car and, because those are just city girl habits that you just grow up with,
Yeah.
But once I settled in and just like... just relaxed,
just like breathe.
And found my most gentle self. I found my most present self, which usually takes me like going to the gym, going to yoga, having a mindfulness practice on a daily basis. Like I have to try harder to be present here, where it started to come natural at some point there.
Well, it makes sense because you have so much to dodge here.
Exactly.
Like you said. Right?
Exactly. And so being on that date there, I found myself being so present and so hypersensitive to energy. And something very fascinating happened where I could pick up on his nervous energy. Not that I wasn't nervous, but it's like the performing arts kid in me can kind of hide it a little, you know? Yeah. But I could pick up on his nervous energy, but I can also pick up on his masculine energy, you know, that was sort of hiding behind that. And so at one point we're sitting in the garden, and I'm a very I square up with everyone, and it's
the New Yorker in all of us, 100%.
It's like, I don't mean to, but now I understand, because I felt it in myself, that I should chill the fuck out and not be so. I had already decided in my head, I want to kiss this guy. I want him to kiss me. You know, I don't want to be so because I can be so aggressive that it annoys me how aggressive I can be. Yeah. So I was like, I don't want to be that person right now. I want to be chill, cool, calm, collected me right now, you know? And so I decided to unsquare up. I decided to pivot myself, still making conversation, but in more of this, I don't know, this coy kind of angle, you know? And instantly his body language leaned in more. And I was like, if I can just enjoy my femininity right now and my softer self, then he can just be himself, whoever he wants to. You know what I mean? And so, and the more I was aware of that and felt his energy, I was like, yes, this is going the direction I want it to. And things just got cuter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Things got cuter, and a kiss did happen. And I was like, look at that, because I was able to be so soft and vulnerable and present in that moment.
Yeah.
That I feel like I have to work so hard to be that here.
Well, yeah, because going back to, a moment ago, there's so much that you have to be on for that has nothing to do with your vulnerability. If anything, it's protecting your vulnerability, right?
Yeah.
So that kind of shows the dichotomy of the energy that, I don't know if it's for this country, it's certainly for this city.
Yeah.
And then you compare that to another city. It's not like you went to some, I don't know, I don't want to insult anyone, but going to someplace else that's not,
right,
a technical boom and a financial growth and, a city.
Yeah.
You went to another equally impressive city with the energy, with everything that you expect. Yes. And yet you were allowing yourself to be more vulnerable, more present.
Yeah.
And it felt, what I can assume based on how you describe it, first nature, or second nature, it just felt natural to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and just sitting
nice.
In a garden park environment that could be equally to a Bryant Park or maybe a little section of Central Park type of vibe.
Yeah.
But there, I would be analyzing the people around me. I'd be hearing all the sounds, all the horn honking, it would be so hard to be present and relaxed and feminine in that moment, because I feel the need to be on guard and I feel the need to get my point across while simultaneously doing all these other things, this mental gymnastics.
Yeah.
Gone, just all gone, and just in that cute moment, embracing the femininity that I rarely get to do, so I could enjoy his masculinity, which I rarely get to do, and I was like, oh God, this is so nice. This is so damn nice. Also, for anyone that is following us for dating advice or dating hacks, I did something very smart right in the beginning of this date when we met up outside the store, and I said bye to my friends. I knew already that I'm attracted to him, and I wanted to have a date that was less physically awkward. First dates are so fucking physically awkward, in my opinion, because it's like, can I put my hand on them?
I see what you mean.
I think people are like, consent? I was like, let me eliminate that in second number one. And as soon as we linked up and he gave me a really great big hug, good hugger, and then we turned to walk towards the train and I immediately linked arms with his. That breaks the physical barrier. It gives consent instantly, and it's a safe space. It's just arms. You know what I mean? And doing that, I think, changed the dynamic of the date to we are comfortable. And I've gone on dates that we couldn't get to that point till almost the end.
Now, when you say dates, is it with other guys or just both?
People. where there's just like an awkward like.
Oh, interesting.
Can I? It's very like
you know,
you don't want to make it a whole like if you ever watched a movie of kids in a theater, like not kids, but like a teenage first date or even adult first date where they're like sitting in a movie theater and they always pan in on like the hand that goes over to the girl's knee and it's like a whole thing. Yeah. No one wants it to be a whole thing. Like it does. That's so, because then it creates more nerves.
Yeah, more tension.
Like, there doesn't need to be a moment. Just do it right in the beginning. If you know that you're physically attracted to someone, just do it right in the beginning. And then it creates a comfortable space. We were able to move around in a space where we're getting on the train or I'm walking this way or that way and he's kind of guiding and he's able to grab my arm or my back or my shoulder. And I'm able to, it created that, like it released that boundary of no touch to like yes touch. Yeah. And made it super comfortable to lead to the next part which would be kiss, Mm-hmm. So for dating hacks, people, please do that one.
That's Game changer. Interesting. I've never experienced that, but I totally get it.
Game changer.
Either that or I've had a date where they ask, can I hold your hand or can I? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Or can I kiss you? And I'm
like the millennial in me is like, oh, I appreciate you asking for the consent, but like, ugh, you also kind of ruined it.
Oh, that's interesting.
Just do the thing.
But that's do the
but
thing.
You need the clear sign. And so it was a clear sign to and a safe, arm touch.
Well, I'm happy you had like a whole experience out there. That's so nice.
So cool. So now we have to obviously go back together.
Oh, I've already started looking at
And
flights.
I thought that you had been to Tokyo. I didn't realize you went to Korea several times. I thought you went to Tokyo several times.
Yeah, I know.
So now I can't believe that I went to Tokyo and you didn't. Now I'm like, bitch, we got to go. I have so much to show you.
Well, the crazier thing about
you belong in Tokyo.
Really?
You belong in Tokyo. Like you might not come back with me and I'm upset.
I mean, every time I've only been there once and... It's so funny that you say that because I purposely did not want to go to Tokyo because my thing
chaotic city vibe.
Yeah. Like I already deal with it here. I don't want to go on vacation to another chaotic city. So I went to Kyoto, which is the old capital. It's a smaller city.
Yeah.
And so I just I just lived my Japanese old lady vibe energy there where I was just like, oh, I never want to leave.
We could do both.
Leave. Oh,
I mean, I think bullet train, problem solved.
All of it. I mean, I still think I would love Japan as a whole.
Yeah, you would love Akita too because of nature. It's like going to upstate New York, but more gorgeous because you'll go into a forest and there's a fucking temple and a shrine, and you're like, I'm sorry, what? It's like
maybe it's me, and maybe you experienced this. Suddenly, this is a Japan video, but the animals are. Their energy is completely different. Like, they're nice. They walk around. Like, granted, they'll fuck you up if you do something.
I didn't get to see animals in the wild, which made me kind of sad. I don't.
Oh, you didn't?
Ducks in Mount Fuji. We had ducks in the water when we were shooting. That was cool. But I didn't get to see any animals in the wild. We did go to the touristy animal cafes, which I have mixed emotions about. But the animals are wonderful. I just don't know that they should necessarily be there. But I also was not going to start protesting in Japan. So I was like, I'm just going to enjoy them. Okay. And the piggies and the otters and the owls.
They do
lived
have
my
all of
best dream life with the
animals cafes out there.
We have to go back for the capybaras. Like, we have to. There's things that have to be done. Okay. I'm sorry, PETA. Don't come for me.
I've only been to the cat one, and they're just. It's interesting because they all live there. I think I don't know how the dynamics of any of these animal cafes things work. I assumed that they were like places where you can adopt one if you want. I know they have one here in New York.
I think the piggy one you could adopt.
Oh, adopting a little piggy.
Oh, I know.
Now, I'm the little piggy.
But. Oh my God. Yes, Japan. Tell me about Texas. Yeah. I know. From Japan to Texas.
To God's country known as Texas. How was Texas?
Tell me, how was Texas?
Texas was just Texas.
Not Japan.
Not Japan at all. Well, you know what's really interesting? There are similarities. Hear me out before you spat out your coffee. And slam my hyputaka.
I'm like, I'm sorry, what? What? Tell me about the
the
FERC? Tell me about the similarities.
So first I'm going to start off with all of the temples in Texas. Okay. Also known as HEB.
Fair.
No,
well played.
It's kind of interesting. So my family has lived in Texas. They moved from New York. Mm-hmm. So for those who don't know, I'm first generation American. So when my family the first day that they moved from Mexico is New York, New York City. And since then they've been here. So they not recently, it's been like, I think almost 10 years, if not more, that they've left. Mm-hmm. And they bought a house. They sold their apartment here and moved to Texas.
Yeah.
And they've been there ever since, because that's been my aunt. My aunt's the matriarch of my mom's side of the family. She's always wanted a house. Okay. So she finally got one.
Texas is a place to do it. Yeah.
Right, yeah. So, and we have military family, so that's why we're also there too. So anyway, we've been there forever. And so every time I go, I always feel really... In my mind, I've always had this, what I call this old lady fantasy. Mm-hmm. I get it in Japan to like be on my little bike and just like go buy some food and just like go ride by the river.
Sure.
And then in the States, it's like having a little Western life, having my little barn with my animals and just living that old little prairie life, right?
Yeah.
And so when I go to Texas, I kind of get to experience that because we're not in a major city. We're like maybe 2 hours away from Austin.
Okay.
So it's a heavy suburban life in that area. And that's something that I've never really experienced because growing up in the city.
Sure.
Right. So when I go there, it's so interesting. People are nice, but like you, I've learned to calm the fuck down. Like that square up energy.
Yeah.
Because everyone...
You don't need it there.
You don't. And it's funny because my first experience in that was not in Texas. It was actually in North Carolina. Me and my friend Zach, who's from North Carolina, he was like, let's go to I think he's from Greensboro. So we went. And I will never forget, first I was walking down the street, which that never happens anywhere because everyone drives everywhere. And someone said, good morning to me. And I said, I'm sorry, I don't have any money. And I literally said that aloud because I thought they were asking for something. And I said this to Zach, and he's just saying hi. And I was just like, oh, I'm not used to that.
Oh my God, that is so like Schitt's Creek. It's not even funny. You're like, I don't have money.
Sorry.
I do not have money for you. It's like, why are you yelling? And they're just saying good morning. They're speaking English.
Money.
I don't have it for you.
No money.
Credit card only.
PayPal, Venmo, no money.
And they're like, good morning.
Yeah, they're like, fuck off. No. So I learned that very quickly. That was in North Carolina. So in Texas, I still carry a little bit of that energy, not the no money thing, because I have no money.
You're like, I have no money. Do you have
money for me?
They're saying good morning, and you're like, can I borrow?
Can you buy me breakfast? Help me, I'm poor. So I still have that aggressive New York City energy at times where I look over my shoulder, I kind of square up people as they're walking towards me, and I learn to like calm that down. So in Texas, they're very kind, considering, in this political climate, not to get too political in any kind of shape, way, or form, but there is this kind of tense energy that I think I bring on to myself because I've yet to have that there.
Yeah.
And granted, I'm lighter skinned. Even though I am a brown person, but I'm not brown, I don't know, presenting, I guess. I'm not tan enough.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. We're not getting pulled over for being black.
Right.
But
we get it and understand it at the same time.
Right. DNA, however.
Right. She's multifaceted, darling.
Right. She's different.
Oh my.
I hope that you can absolutely hear the children screaming in the background.
Can you hear it?
Can you hear that? That's birth control. Do you hear it?
Don't do it, kids.
We're sponsored by
Pulling
birth
out.
Control.
So yeah, it's interesting to go back there, and it was really great. I was with my family that I haven't seen in, I think, over a year. And it was my uncle's birthday. He's 78. So it was just nice to be with family. And kind of going back to you saying being mindfully present. Mm-hmm. It's something that I've exercised it so long and meditated it into my life.
Yeah. Especially
in those moments where, I'm a very spiritual person. And always in your time of need is when you reach out, right?
Right.
But there are moments where I'm just like, why is it that it's only in those moments? I should reach out when I'm happy to be grateful.
Correct.
And so I've been doing that for a very long time now, right? And then now, and I think for those of us who've been with us since the very beginning of this podcast, I have no sense of time. So
it's been forever.
Forever. And it's weird to be at a place where my parents are senior citizens.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was weird to say that aloud. So my parents, my mom is 70. Wait, no. My uncle is 74. My mom is 78. My dad is 70 something because my mom is 6 years older than my dad.
Okay.
So point is that they're up there in age. Me neither. I just look pretty.
Yeah.
And ask Siri for a bunch of stuff.
Yes.
Anyway, I thought I activated her by accident. So being at a place where that starts to hit you, that they're up there in age, I'm like, I would go, and normally I always bring my work with me, whether it's film editing, whether it's the podcast, whatever, I bring it with me. And then there are moments, and I've caught myself over the years, not recently, not this past week, but in those past years where I would be working and they want to have a conversation with me, and I remember rolling my eyes.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
No.
Because you want to appreciate this, because there's going to be a point, 100% there's going to be a point in your life where you won't have that.
Yes.
Instant regret. Cherish this moment.
Yep. Put the work down.
So for the first time, I wasn't making an effort to do that. I was just mindfully present the entire time.
Yeah.
And it felt so great, so magical. I'm really getting emotional.
Aww.
It just felt so great.
Yeah. To just appreciate them in real time. Yes,
and especially when it was a birthday. I haven't celebrated my uncle's birthday in person in a very long time. So it just felt so much more special. And usually when I leave, sorry.
Aww, cry it out.
Usually when I leave, no.
You're like, I don't want to on camera.
I don't want to. We're not there yet, you guys. We're not there yet.
I don't want to mess up my foundation.
It was beautiful, and for the first time I left and didn't feel any kind of regret in that I didn't hold them long enough. I didn't love them. I didn't say it like I did. No,
you did. You did.
So it felt very self-contained being at Texas. It felt very great. It didn't feel like it felt like it needed to be longer. And then I felt like I lived in a bubble while I was there, because reflecting on you and your travel adventure.
Yeah.
Of course, you're outside of the box and you're living all the experiences that you don't have normally here, right? Whereas over there, I was in a bubble with my little family, my little suburban dream.
Yeah.
And then the time that we would go out to leave that bubble, it felt fine. It felt great, even though we're in this political climate that's very intense. Yeah. And it's intense for, I think, everyone very differently. I will say it was very interesting. It was very interesting. So when I was leaving, I was taking a Uber to the airport, and and we're in the, I guess it's called the front lawn.
Okay.
I don't know what those things, but the stoop of the house. I don't know what you call it.
The stoop of the house. It is a front lawn.
The front lawn. We're at the front lawn waiting for the driver to come around, and so the driver comes in, and we're in this kind of, I guess it is a gated community. Okay. So he's coming in, he's making a U-E, and he's pulling over, and I see the driver, and he's like an older white man, very seasoned, you know. And my mom is my mom. My mom is very, I don't know how to explain it. Like, when she loves you, she wants the world to know that she loves you. Yeah. So
very expressive.
Very expressive. Not performative, but very expressive. Yeah. So she's like, I love you, be safe, call when you get to the airport. This is all in Spanish, by the way. Yeah. And the driver's there, so I'm going to the back. I had to put my luggage in the back. Open the back, and it was neatly folded in the corner of the trunk of this 4x4 or pickup, I don't know, cars. Things that had a door. And neatly folded was, I don't know what it was, like what it functioned for the car, but it must have been some kind of cover up, but it was folded, and it was the infamous photo of remember when Trump got almost shot or something, like in the ear or something. And they have that photo of him, like, I think he's like holding his fist in the air with the flag and the eagle and the thing in the background.
It's a
whole thing. He has that. I can see it because I see
because Texas.
It's and immediately I felt
unsafe.
I don't know what the word would be. I don't know if unsafe was the word, to be completely honest. What I felt was nervous because I'm like, oh, what does this mean for me? My entire Brown family in our house is there. My mom is talking to me in Spanish, and this driver is listening to me, and I'm just like, is he gonna ask me? It's like that's when the New York City square up happens. The armor goes on, and I'm like, all right. And it's not that I'm finding completely defensive, but not that I'm going to have defensive responses. It's more of like, oh wait, now I'm alert because I don't know what could happen. I don't know what he could say. And granted, I'm the least confrontational person to ever exist because I'm not here to argue with you. I don't argue with people. I don't do arguments.
Right.
I'll do conversations.
Or walk away.
Right.
Yeah.
So, or not even put myself in positions to be in a place like that. Like I've been doing this my entire life in terms of avoiding conflict because I've always been a tiny guy. That I can foresee it and not even go in that direction. I see that happening and you're
like pivot.
Completely.
Yeah.
So that being said, seeing that, I'm just like, oh boy, okay, well now I have an idea of the driver, that gave me a lot. Says a lot. So I get in the car. I get in the backseat because obviously no one goes in the front seat. No one rides shotgun. My mom is waving goodbye, and I'm like, oh my god, is he gonna say something? I don't know what's happening, and it's always the worst conversations in your head. So I had to breathe out for that one, and I was starting to feel the tense nature of it all. So anyway, we're on the road, and it was actually it was fine. It was there were ebbs and flows. There were moments where, and I think you and I have discussed this, where you said there used to be a feature on this on Uber, which was how would you like your driver to respond to you? Like, do you want him to talk?
You can have a quiet ride.
Yes. And outside of the country, you have that option, but not here.
And I swear we used to have it. We used to have this option, and I don't know where it went.
I guess it doesn't work.
I don't know.
But I always enjoyed it because I always had this experience, even like something as like getting a haircut or so, like, don't talk to me.
Yeah.
I don't need you to talk to me. I don't want you to. I'm happy with the conversation in my own mind.
Right.
Don't need them on the outside.
Yeah.
So the same thing on our car ride. So we're in the car, and he of course asks the inevitable of like, where are you traveling to? And I was like,
you're like the most liberal place in the country.
I know. I'm just like, I'm going to New York City where they have bagels and they have. And I'm just
gays
like,
and immigrants.
All of the brown people live there.
Yeah, all of them.
And so
fabulous.
I say New York City, and it was interesting. Our conversation there was no, I think everybody's waiting for me to be like, he said this to me. He didn't say any of the things.
No.
He was actually very pleasant, very nice. I actually felt really bad for him because I'm not a very political person.
Yeah.
I'm a very human person. So when people are hurt or in pain or just things that are happening that are unfair, I just naturally will feel empathy towards you. It's not affiliation to any kind of political party or anything like that. I'm just like a very empathetic person. So he goes on to say how, first of all, it was shocking to me that he has like a massive gambling problem that he was like very self-aware of.
Yeah.
I forgot how he got into that conversation, but he talked about the amount of debt that he was in, which was like a lot.
Yeah.
And he was just like, well, I was able to cut down. So in my mind, I'm like, good for you. Right.
Yeah.
And I even said it to him, good for you
Sure.
for like recognizing and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And then he says how much money he could have saved. And then that's kind of fell into his, I guess, medical needs. Oof. So he was saying how he needs knee replacement surgery for both of his knees.
Oh, damn.
And how expensive it is because it's out of pocket. He's not retired yet. Yeah.
Oh,
Uber drivers. He's an overweight man.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's saying how, well, they won't do the surgery unless he loses weight, but he's having trouble losing weight because he can't move.
So this was quite the ride.
Because mind you, to the airport, it's maybe 20 minutes. You can say a lot of your life in 20 minutes. And this happens to me, which is so funny because this touches into when I arrived to Texas. I had this very interesting Uber driver. They did not want to fuck, but they did want to tell me their entire lives. I don't know what it is about me that people just kind of open up because
I get it. We could have a whole separate podcast talking about the people we meet in Ubers. Yeah. Honestly. It's a fucking wild ride every time.
It is. So he goes on to talk about, all the things that he's missing, like the way that he's being gouged and medical bills and things of that nature. And then in the back of my head, I'm like, well, you kind of voted for this person. I obviously did not say that.
Yeah.
Because that's engaging in things, A, I don't know a lot about.
Right.
And then B, you don't want to kick somebody while they're down. Like there's no constructive criticism in that regard. But that was kind of an interesting highlight while I was there because I was in God's country.
Right.
And to see...
Very much so.
Yeah. And to see God's people, God's chosen.
Yep. Doing godly gambling things.
Was really interesting. It was really, it's very interesting. I always feel like I'm on the outside of the box and all these kind of things. And it was just interesting to observe. And also I felt bad because it seems like he didn't have a way out. And he's not a retirement age, which is apparently 67. He's 64.
Okay.
So he's close to and making ends meet. He's a single man. And it was just really interesting. His mindset, he went on talking about relationships or how he wished he had a wife, a woman. He said a woman. And I was like, ooh, like a property thing? Okay, well, go on, sir. Say your piece. And he says, well, yeah, she would take care of me. And I thought...
And that's why you don't have one.
I mean, it's very antiquated, but also...
She's out there, but she got a dog. You're on your own, bro.
It was very saddening to hear him because he's saying with such conviction and such what's the word? He was being very genuine about it and he wasn't being mean. He wasn't being. I didn't get this chauvinistic energy from him like you would think the way I'm describing it. He wasn't, and yet I felt, oh, what an antiquated place of mind to have or approach to a lot of these things. And like you said, like, yeah, she's out there, but maybe not in the way that you think she is.
She's out there. She doesn't want to raise a man, so she is doing literally anything else. Yeah,
and so it made me think of maybe reflect of just like the amount of people that are out there that have that same mindset. And I thought, was this what it feels like when, I don't know, when fucking the internet happened? And I'm like, I'm not using the internet. I'm going to use my encyclopedia. Right. And you get left behind.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think I'm on the verge of that with like social media. Like, get on the TikTok. I'm like, I'm not TikToking anything right now.
Same. So. We are on the verge. But at the big old age of 40, it's not shocking to anyone that we are on the verge of being left out of certain things. At least we talk to ChatGPT sometimes. We've got that on our side.
Chatty's my best friend. Sorry, I'm gonna. No.
It's replaced me. Sorry. At least we have that, But no, I don't feel like TikToking. It's too much. The Instagram, the Facebook, the Twitter,
it's overwhelming.
It's enough.
But like you said, 40, like to sit back and think.
Yeah.
What our perspective was of what 40 is, or should be, rather what it is.
Right.
It's not even. I can't even say that it's night and day. Right? Would you agree?
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it's night and day. It feels like it's a whole new life that like the amount of people that I've listened to, whether they're friends or other people, other podcasters, that talk about being 40 and what that means and what that looks like. And they themselves say, this is uncharted water.
Right.
Because it's like those memes that I think are so disrespectful, by the way.
Which
the memes? Ones of like they'll have like they'll line up the ladies of the Golden Girls, and when they did the show, I think they were either somewhere between 45 to 50. Yeah. And then they compared them with people of our generation, like J-Lo, who I think is 50 something.
She's like 55 or something.
And they're like, look at that, and I'm like, that is so fucking rude. You're doing it to the ladies of my home, of the Golden Girls. Like, how dare you?
I know, that's your posse.
But also, like, it's a whole different gender. Like, back then, they smoked, they drank, like, so different. But also, they do have a point, though, of, like, yes, we live longer. We are no longer, well, we, in my head, I'm thinking women, are no longer tied down to the idea that you have to get married, have to have kids by this age. Like, yes, biological is a whole different thing. Yeah.
We're doing everything, and we have let's be real. We have Botox now. We have skincare.
Thank you,
we learned about SPF. That was the game changer right there. We learned that the sun is the one thing that actually ages you. Yeah. And just learning that tiny bit of knowledge changed everything for everyone. Now we douse ourselves in SPF younger and younger and younger. When I became a New York licensed esthetician, one of the most fascinating things I learned was like, how soon should you start using SPF? My teacher said, when you're born in the hospital, that you shouldn't take a baby out of the hospital without SPF. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? It's like, yeah, if you want to keep your skin young forever, your first day on earth, you should be SPF'd.
Yeah.
And continue every single day throughout every year, no matter what climate, forever. That's it. You won't age, period. Like, you'll age so little.
Yeah.
And so, of course, we look so much younger. You know, we have all the knowledge now. We have all the capability. We have all the aesthetics. We have all the Botox. We have all the
wellness. And there's a wellness factor to it, too.
Everything.
Yeah, everything. All of the above.
We stole the entire culture of, we culturally appropriated yoga. So, like, we now, I forgot who, there was like a comedian that said something about, like, how in America we, like, rush to yoga. It's like we're already doing it wrong.
Oh, wait, I've heard this. Yeah.
We do. We rush to yoga. We rush to get that parking space, and we rush out, and we're like, okay, finally I made the class. We're already doing it wrong. But then we're like, I went to yoga today, and I meditated. I'm healthy now.
All true. Yeah, it's wild.
We're doing all the things.
But it's wild to think that 40 feels uncharted. Like, to me,
this new type of 40, yeah.
Yeah, I feel the most confident now at 40 than I ever have in my entire life. I feel that I have and it's kind of interesting because this podcast involves a lot of that growth, which is really interesting. Like, to go in cathartic from our first episode to where we are today has changed my entire outlook of how I carry myself, how I think. My biggest fear, and her and I, for those who don't know, the backstory of our podcast is that you've been trying to get me to do this forever. And I was like,
years.
I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be good at it. I don't think I'm interesting enough, this, that, and the other. And my biggest, I don't think I know. We shot a pilot episode that never saw the light of day.
I'm still so sad about that. I have nightmares about that.
But I do too, but I think for different reasons. It was a sound issue. It was a sound issue.
It was a sound issue, not our fault. It was a total glitch in the system sound issue. Otherwise, it would have happened.
I'm not mad.
And it was a hilarious episode.
I'm not mad at it because I remember my biggest thing. When I get nervous, I start thinking aloud. Yeah, thinking aloud. So I'll say what I feel aloud, and I kept saying, like, I was nervous to say the wrong thing. I just had no sensibility to how I was going to articulate myself here on this platform. And so to watch that, know that, and then be here, and I think we're only 15 episodes or something.
Probably.
We're at our season finale.
Because we need a break.
We do need a break.
To catch up. We've literally catch up on the
and
life
just kind of
things.
Live life of at least do that
to
for
have
a bit.
the things to talk about.
Yeah. And so to go from that to where we are today in this current state of the pod, I was just like, wow, I've grown a lot in ways that I was so surprised about or didn't expect at all. I didn't expect, like you said, for this to be so cathartic as it was.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, I edit the podcast to the sound, the visuals, and all the things. So I'm, of course, listening back to this over and over again. It becomes like a form of therapy. Yeah. Where I'm just like, wow, I forgot that I went through that because I said it on the pod.
Right.
or the fact that I'm like, oh my God, I just said that on the pod. I should have not said that.
Oh my God, that is so vulnerable. What was I thinking?
And I can't edit it. Like, I shouldn't edit. Like, no, don't edit it out. You said it for a reason. Like, stand by.
Exactly. Double down.
Yeah.
Because in real time, we're just two best friends sitting on a couch talking the way we always fucking talk.
Yeah.
And then we're like, let's just send this to the world. It's insane. Yeah. What we're doing is actually fucking crazy.
It's why, and what's even crazier to me, for me at least, is that I forget that you're watching or that you're listening. And I'm just like, oh, I'm just talking off the cuff. Granted, there are times where I realize, like, oh no, I shouldn't say the thing that I want to say.
Right.
But there's still a big part of that I forget that that people are listening to this.
Yeah.
And but again, it's a lot of growth in 40. I'm excited for what else is to come.
Yeah, I'm excited for what's to come on this show. I mean, for me, it's been interesting because, I do live an exciting life that I can talk about endlessly on this podcast and other podcasts. But there's this part of me, being that this is our podcast, there's a part of me that's like, I'm taking chances that I wouldn't necessarily always take out in the world, because I'm like, do it for the pod. Do it for the fucking pod. Do it for the story,
Yeah.
And it's not things that I wouldn't do. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, going on a date with a guy in Japan is a perfect example. I haven't dated guys in a long time. I had no interest in dating guys. But I wasn't going to... Right. I wasn't going to ignore this feeling that I had, or this chemistry that I felt, I wasn't going to ignore the attraction just for what. So, but there was a part of me that can be socially anxious, and I was in a bar environment and a sober person, and still getting used to being a fun person in a bar as a sober person and a social person,
Yeah.
And so there's a part of me that could have easily just been like, oh, he's cute, that's fine, whatever, and had a conversation and just left it at that. And then there's like now this little, not this little devil, but like this little, I don't know, fun person. This tiny little fun person in my head that's like, this could be an adventure. And if it's an adventure, you can talk about it. And then you have something to talk about. And, so it's not that I would do something just for the podcast.
No, I get what you mean.
But it gave me like courage.
Yeah.
I needed courage to be like, put yourself out there, flirt with this guy, do the thing, because why not? Because even if it went terribly, I'm like, well, at least I could talk about it with my best friend and put it on the internet, like, even if it went bad. But I was like, go do this. You might actually like have a great time, and you might actually, So again, like, not doing things that I wouldn't do, but having the courage to do it because of the podcast.
Similarly, kind of, I've had the same effect. Not in the way that it's hit me is that I've become more of an inquisitive person. Mm-hmm. So, like like you just said, you normally want to respond this way, but then you thought, well, worst case, I have a story for the pod, right?
Yeah, worst case.
And for me, the same approach, in that I'm more inquisitive towards people now, and we've discussed how much I dislike people, but yet I find them fascinating. They're fascinating creatures. And I've been more inquisitive in that I want to know more about whatever it is that they are willing to share with me.
Yeah.
So that then I have something here to talk about. Because the more that I've learned about myself here, I've learned that there's so much more. I'm so fascinated by the way people interact with one another, but also with themselves.
Yeah.
And so I'm surrounded by people who are on this path, or whatever they want to call it, of just figuring themselves out and figuring the world out.
Yeah.
So normally I would just kind of mind my own fucking business.
Right.
I'd just be like, all right, well, that's you. I'm so sorry for you, but I need to go. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, I got to do whatever I got to do. Mm-hmm. Now I take a moment to pause, and I'm just like, let me ask them about this.
Yeah. And
see what comes up and how insightful it can be. It's something that I can share, that I've learned.
Expanding your perspective to bring it here to us.
But in my mind, I'm like, do it for the pod.
Do it for the pod.
Find out for the pod. Find out the chisme for the pod.
Absolutely.
So it's been really gratifying.
Taught us a lot.
I am so still shocked of how cathartic this entire process has been, because I didn't. That was the least thing that I would expect out of this entire experience, is to just grow from it. It's so weird. I thought this was just like you said, just us shooting the shit and putting it on the internet. And it's for me, it's grown to be more than that. And it's kind
so
of,
much more.
It's so special.
I love that.
It's
so special for us.
Meow.
Well, for this extra special season finale episode, that's extra long, we're going to give you the last 2 questions that we got via DM. So that you don't have to wait till next season for the answers. So one of those questions was a model friend who subscribes and listens to our podcast. She was shocked to find out that I was 40, and she only knew from listening to the episodes and me bringing it up. And she kindly worded, how does it feel to be cooler than your peers, like people your age, you know what I mean? And it's funny because I only surround myself with really cool people my age. Like all of my friends are kind of really, they're 40 or even 40 plus, and they're doing all kinds of weird, unique jobs in the kink world, in the entertainment world, in the music world. I think a big part of that is being a New Yorker and being ageless in that way.
Yeah.
That we just kind of do what we're passionate about. And so I've attracted that circle that none of us look or seem 40, you know?
Yeah.
And, but also shout out to Gen Z, because I have a lot of other friends, who like her, she's almost 20 years younger than us, like her and her, you know, group of friends and model friends, and they keep me young. Like when I was in Japan, I was there with a bunch of my friends, but one specifically, Belle, we could shout her out. She has an amazing freaking YouTube that she vlogged the whole Japan experience. You're going to love it, because it's capturing all of us on this crazy journey and the challenges that we faced and everything. And the food, girl, the food. Just watch for the food. Do you know it? Belle Emile is her... Belle _ Emile. We'll have to tag it because there's interesting spelling. Okay. But we'll have to tag that and the YouTube because it's freaking insane. It's so good. She's so talented. She alone, you know, could keep me young on this trip, because I was like, I don't know how to. I'm not a jewelry person. I don't know how to accessorize these things. I know, but thankfully all my friends are. So she was accessorizing me, and she was like, do this with your hair, do that with that outfit. I think that I get to be quote unquote cool at my age because I am open to learning from the younger generation, unlike a lot of people in our generation who just, it's totally like a rite of passage to shit on the younger generation. Do you know what I mean? That Gen X mocked millennials. Millennials mocked Gen Z. Each generation thinks that they're reinventing the wheel, and we have to laugh about that. You know what I mean?
You do.
But there's also so much that they have contributed, the same way we contributed, the same way Gen X contributed. And so I'm like, yeah, give me all that. I am open. I am willing. I am like, yes. Yeah. Oh, what is that thing you like? Yeah, let me try that. What's that thing you're doing? I'm going to try that. Yeah. I stay open, and that's why I don't seem... or look 40 or seem 40 and have a cool life, because I'm down to like fuck with random Gen Z shit.
Yeah.
You know? So hopefully that answers her question. And also skincare and Botox, which let me just say, my Botox wore off like right before Japan, and I like did not have time to do it. So this is a Botox free face right now.
Boom, 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 boom.
So I need to go at some point in June and work on that. But this is Botox free, baby, and it's still 40 and fabulous. So.
It's so true. There's never been a moment. It's funny. A lot of my coworkers, if not most, I think 90% of them are, what is it? Gen Z. Gen Z. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting. They never bring up my age as first of all, they're always shocked. I mean, I'm sure you too
live for the shock value. We live for that. Yeah, just know that.
It is. I do too.
You're not 40. I'm like, okay.
I'm like,
all right.
It's funny when one of I guess a lot of them, but one of my coworkers, her mom is my age, and I was like, I could be your mom. Wild.
Yup.
And so, yeah, the shock value is always intriguing. It's always fun to watch their eyes just like light up. Like, you're 40, like you're a whole 2 decades older than me. And I'm like, thanks.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. But like you keep open to I mean, I guess for you, it's keeping open to everything, right? Letting everything influence you in a positive way.
Different styles, and knowing what you can and cannot do. There's certain things that I'm just like, I could wear that, but wearing that and saying I'm 40, like it gives cringe. I want to stay young, as young as I can feel at 40. Yeah. I don't want to be younger. Like, I'm not trying to pretend I'm not trying to fit in to Gen Z. I'm trying to just be a youthful millennial. Yeah. I'm not, and you have to know the difference. And
for sure.
I'm big, and I realized this on this trip, actually. I'm big on pass the torch energy. I no longer need to be front and center, the most bedazzled, the biggest, the loudest. I am like, you are in your 20s. You are the rising star now. Here. Yeah. Like, here, go, nice. Get in there. Do you know what I mean? And that, I think, also kind of keeps me young. I don't need to push myself to the max 24/7. Like, my knees hurt. I know. Thank you. I look good. Great. I don't look 40. Amazing. I'm in pain. I'm in pain almost all the time.
I mean, right now my knee is falling asleep. I'm not gonna lie.
We're living a youthful life, but our joints are like, yeah, but you're 40.
Don't forget it.
That pass the torch energy, it comes in handy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here, someone needs to do the most. You can. You're 27. Go on. Bella and I were cracking up. At one point, we all had bunk beds, and she was like, "Which one do you want?" And I looked at her and I was like, "Sweetheart, I'm not climbing up there." That's all you, baby.
So I'm going to pass the torch to you to go up there.
Yeah,
because I'm not doing it.
You'd get the top bunk.
Yeah. No, it's fascinating. It's fascinating.
I love that for us. Our second question, so you don't have to wait for weeks, was about needing to start a dating profile, not being good at it, not being able to talk about themselves to do this dating profile. And so I've had that question before, just in life. And my solution is always, if you struggle to talk about yourself in anything, let's say you have to do an interview or create a resume, and you're struggling, have someone close to you do it for you, because their perspective is just really genuine. Yeah. And if you have a good friend that is like a hype man in your life, that's the perfect person to have write your, because let's say you're a person that doesn't know how to write the good things about themselves, because that's what you're doing on the dating apps. Get someone who does know how to say the nice things about you. And then you'll also be surprised at some of the things they point out. And you're like, I am that. I do that. Mm-hmm.
I've never done that.
Yeah.
But I certainly have been tempted, because like you, I'm not like you, like this person. I was horrible at it. I get to a point where I got too descriptive, and then I wasn't too descriptive. At some point, I just used fucking emoticons or emojis just to I'm not even gonna bother anymore. Now I just don't have one. But no, that's the apps. But that's super smart though.
Good. I don't know why. I am good at writing dating apps. Like I have filled out more than a few myself, and when I close them, I screenshot them.
That is so
because I'm so proud of my work. Because I know how to put out it's like to the point on who I am, but also witty, and also leaves room for asking me questions.
God, that's
and it's
you just said a mouthful right there. I'm not good at
I
any
make
of
a
that.
perfect fucking dating profile. So I don't know if you want me to help you personally with your dating profile.
She'll start taking DMs, and I'm charging 10%.
I was gonna say I'm gonna hit you with rates because it's time consuming. But I mean, look, there's also AI. I don't know.
I've done the AI thing.
You can do. There's so many different ways.
I did.
To approach
I went to
situation.
Chatty, and I was just like, I need help writing a profile, and it suggested to describe myself in very basic thing, and then it wrote something, and then I just cleaned it up, and then poof,
there you go.
sent it on its way.
There you go.
That's also really
Some
smart.
basic pointers that I like to tell people and that I use myself. Don't use cliches. Because you will see them on a dozen profiles in one swiping session. Like if you just say just the random thing. Like look at how many women make fun of the amount of straight men holding a fish. Like there's so many memes about that because it's been done so many times. Like don't be that cringy person. Yes, there's so many men holding fish on dating apps. It's a straight man thing. It's super weird. super weird, and you get left swiped all the time. It's like, don't be that person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't be so there's things that you can say that's like, you'll see it on every profile. Don't say the same things, the same, like, it's like a live, laugh, love of dating profiles. Like, what's your favorite thing to do? Live, laugh, love. Like, imagine seeing that on 50 fucking profiles in a 10-minute swiping session. Like, no.
Absolutely not.
If it's like, oh, I like to have fun on the weekends, like,
I like to be in my coffin on the weekends.
You could be the hottest 10, and if your idea of a sentence is I like to have fun, I'm left swipe. Like, it's giving me nothing. You're giving people nothing. Don't do that. I've seen profiles where people start off their bio with listing the things they don't want in someone else. You're a bitter Betty. Go home. Just get off the apps. Just stop. They're like, if you are a blah 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 person, swipe left. It's like, I didn't even get to the end of that blah before I swipe left on you.
Are they also holding a fish?
Right. Half of them. Like,
that's wild.
They're holding a fish and they're like, I don't want a woman who blah 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 blah. It's like, you're not gonna get one. Don't worry. Don't worry, incel. You're in no danger.
I think you're safe.
Right. But those are just basic tips. I have a million more that I could give, maybe on a future episode.
Yeah, I have no tips.
And for the record, I get a decent amount of matches. I just don't go on 95% of the dates that I match with because they usually talk their way. This is and I've been on the apps, in the more recent years for women, but when I was on for both men and women, the amount of people who talk their way out of my pussy in the first
you've discussed this before, yes.
Chat, it was like, man, brutal. So I like to say I'm a dating app pro, but
and I'm a dating app
not much
hoe.
Success because
Kidding, not a hoe.
Obviously, I don't even like dating.
No.
Cheers to single life, though.
240 in uncharted waters.
Single and 40 because it's kind of fabulous. As I sit here in my kimono, straight from Japan. And let it be known, I came back from Japan, and where did we go?
Back to Japan?
No, we went to the Cowboy Carter concert.
Oh, right. That is true. We did. That was
literally
amazing.
Jet lagged as fuck. Not 24 hours later, we were at MetLife Stadium.
Cowboy Carter.
Beyonce.
I was in awe. It was my first big boy concert.
I know. What a concert to go to.
Staring at everyone. We had great seats.
Yeah.
And I was just in awe, not just of obviously of Beyonce and performance, but just like the size of the stadium and seeing looking up at the nosebleed sections and just like they're there and they're equally chanting. Like, it was just
nosebleeds are a vibe. Don't sleep on nosebleeds. Like, but I'm telling you,
it's surreal. Like how large everything was.
Oh yeah, massive.
Yeah, and granted, it was shitty weather. And granted, it didn't rain, so thank God that. My hair was down.
But we had to change our very hot, very sexy outfits.
I was wearing cold-proof. I was going to wear booty ass shorts.
We were going to be throwing ass in denim shorts and cowgirl boots, and we still threw a little ass, but
it was cute.
It was cute. It could have been cuter.
Could have been a lot cuter.
We're never going to forgive that. No. Mother Nature.
But we will love you thank you for listening for an entire season.
Yeah. We're going to come back with more shit for you.
Yeah. More personal growth.
Yeah. I love that this is a relationship, dating, kink podcast that has now been engulfed by personal growth. I love that for us.
We're a wellness podcast now.
Oh my God. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Welcome with your wellness. Well, we'll see you in the next season.
Yeah. Give us a few weeks. We'll get back to you.
Yeah.
Don't call us. We'll call you.
Please call me.
Call him. Don't call me.
Don't call her.
How do we end this?
Goodbye. For now.
Thank you for watching. We put out new episodes every Tuesday on Spotify. And new visual episode every Friday right here on YouTube. And please like, comment, and subscribe. Until then, goodbye.